Alrighty, hello and welcome everyone to the inaugural evening of the CSC Short Track Racing Series. I am the S in CSC. My name is Soji Sakata. I will be your host for all CSC racing content from here on out. I will be covering the short track series, which are running every Friday night starting from now through the next, I believe, 9 weeks. I think it's a 10-week league, if I can remember correctly. And then also our 10-week long CSC Racing Cup Series League that runs on Saturday nights. Same time, just the next day. So we should have a good show for you here tonight. We have the short track league, of course, is focusing on a little bit more of a consistent type of racing. We are running the same cars every single week. And let's actually introduce those cars now so you can kind of get an idea of where we're running. Switching over, we're running the Street Stock series for the Short Track League. This is every single week. These cars use small block V8s. They make about 375 horsepower. They're running 15 by 8 Hoosier Comanche radials. The car here is a Panther C1. It's based on a 70s Camaro. The second option is the Monte Carlo that they call the Casino in this game. All cars are completely equal to each other. There are no advantages or disadvantages in body styles. It's more just a personal preference of what you want your car to look like. So here's the third option. This is the Eagle, based on the 90s Thunderbird. So you got a 70s Camaro, an 80s Monte Carlo, or a 90s Thunderbird to use as you please. And like I said, we will be running all types of short tracks. Tonight's track, we're starting with USA International Speedway. Based out of Lakeland, Florida, this 3/4 of a mile flat track, I shouldn't say flat track, it does have some type of banking. According to iRacing, they actually call this a high bank short track. I've driven around this track, and I'll be honest, I beg to differ. I'm not sure exactly where they're looking at for high banking, but as somebody who's driven around Talladega in this game, it does not seem all that high to me. But let me make sure. This track, yeah, I forgot. I wanted to make sure I'm not missing any details on the track here. Looks like pit roads are 35 mile an hour tonight. There are only two configurations of this track, asphalt and dirt. We will not be running the dirt, of course, on any of these. The Short Track League is completely focused on asphalt racing. So we won't be using the dirt street stock either. That is just something we're not running. This is an asphalt-focused league. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the racing series here. I had the info on the track up, make sure I didn't miss anything important. My personal preference, I always run Casino. I always did have a thing for those old night or 80s Monte Carlos. The 88 SS is a real sweet ride. I quite wanted one in college, if I'm honest. But they are very cool. These cars are actually pretty neat because the dirt variant of these cars, especially the Monte Carlos, still be found running today at short track, like dirt tracks around the nation. When I was in college, I actually saw somebody running a couple of these old Monte Carlos, and they had modern chassis under them, but they were still using the old school bodywork, and really, really cool to watch them rip around. The Panthers you don't see as much, nor do you see the Eagles, unfortunately, in real life. These are less common. But I have seen the Casinos racing in real life, and they are a sight to behold, especially on the dirt. But either way, let's go ahead and jump into the session here. Get a look and see where our competitors are at for the moment. Looks like we only have 3 people in the lobby so far. I'll make 4. I will not be racing tonight. I will be hosting full time. However, when we get in, I will take you guys for a lap around the track and show you what it's like from the driver's point of view. Watching is one thing from the grandstands or the TV cameras or whatever, but when you're in the car, that is an entirely different experience, and it really gives you a whole different perspective on what it looks like from behind the wheel. Tracks can change a lot from standing next to them to actually being on them. So, looks like we've got, not counting me, of course we have the other two C's in CSC, Cameron Romano and Chris Hood. And of course, as always, we got Gary Greenlee with us, who is our, he's also an admin. He may not be in the CSC name, but he is a very useful admin who is very helpful for us. So, and he's also a good friend, of course. I made sure to keep some refreshments with me. I'm going to be talking a lot tonight, I think. So make sure I will definitely be having a nice, cool drink with me at all times this evening. And I'd advise you to do the same. It's always a nice thing to have a nice, cool drink with you. There we go. We're into the session. Apologies for the delay. It takes a minute for OBS to recognize the racing sim aspect of this game. Not 100% sure as to why. So let's check out some of our competitors. We have Chris Hood and the number 13 Chick Hicks Panther. Not sure what he's trying to accomplish with that, but yeah, I'm going to have ask him some questions about his driving habits. There's, the 15 car there. That is Cameron Romano in his paint scheme didn't update. I'll have to let him know. He updated this paint scheme and it didn't take. He must not have uploaded it right. I'll have to let him know about that. And then, of course, we have Gary Greenlee in the WCSC racing machine. Ooh, nice spec map, Gary. The flat, oh, he's AFK. See his hands shaking? That's just force feedback shaking the wheel. That's funny. Alrighty, so I need a different camera here. Let's go to most exciting. We'll get some action on the track here. Looks like we've got Cameron out front and Chris in hot pursuit. Who's got the fast lap right now? Results. Looks like that 15 car, the Eagle of Romano, 23.279. Hood close behind, 23.427. And Greenlee shortly just behind them, 23.7. So all within a half a second of each other from top to bottom, which is pretty good dispersion. If we had more cars on track than that, it would not surprise me to see that dispersion not be that much more. I could see a lot of people being between 23.2 and 23.7. That's a pretty tight window for a short track. So let's head out on track. Wow, 42 laps. He has been, wow, Hood with 33. The two of them have been ripping lap after lap, and even Greenlee with 26. These boys have been out on track a lot. So let's hop in car here. Welcome inside Casino. Take you guys for a quick race around this track. As I said, 375 horsepower carbureted V8s. Pretty quick to rev, and capable of burnouts for sure. All right, where are they at? I don't want to get in their way here as I do my little test lap here to show you guys what's up. Looks like they're back away, so we're good. Let's rip it. Pit exit, you have to stay off of the banking till you get to that blue line. So exiting, you have to roll off the throttle. Keeping on the bottom of the track here is going to be crucial, as this track does not have progressive banking. So the fastest way around is the shortest way around. And that means keeping your left sides right down on that yellow line and maximizing your turn exit. Right up on the wall to the entrance to the outside of the track there. Whoa, a little bit oversteer. And that's what makes these cars so, incredibly hard to drive. They very easily get loose and can break the rear traction on you at a moment's notice. So let's try that again, see if I can, whoa, hey, a little bit of lag there. iRacing service apparently, a little too much going on all at once. Tito, should we remove Nightbot moderation for caps? Yes, please, Gary. I don't know how to adjust that on stream. You were the one who set that up, so if you would so kindly fix that, that would be amazing. I'd really appreciate it. All right, let's see if I can get a quality lap in here. Get right up on that outside wall. Roll off that throttle, get a little bit of brake on it. Patiently wait for exit, and rip. Out to the wall again. Get to the exit of the track, right down to that yellow line, ride those brakes just a little bit. Whew. Come on now. Yeah, these tired, now disabled, just make sure people don't constantly yell. Nope, appreciate that, Gary, but definitely I think it was a little bit too touchy, so thank you for adjusting that. All right, see if I can get one good clean lap in here to really show you guys what a fast lap looks like. Really got to be careful with the throttle on these cars. Apply it too fast, the traction will break in a hurry.
He just turned me!
I think that might have been my best one so far.
Have a good outdoor slam.
I really just want to set a fast lap here to remind the boys who are racing, I still got a little speed when I want it. That's what you don't want to do right there, is get down off that apron. Ah, nuts. You can run that higher line, but it isn't quite as efficient. Although you can get more momentum going around since it's a wider ring. It's all about how you like to drive the track and what you're capable of keeping the car to do as you keep it around the corners. Not sure what those boys are doing there in turn one, but they really should be focusing on practicing and not wrecking each other. But this is what it looks like. Lap after lap after lap, and one small mistake, and you're in a big problem. And there goes the front end of my car. So let's get back to the action on the track now that I've showed you guys what it looks like. There's what Casino, since nobody else is running Casino, there's what Casino looks like on the track. And here's what Casino looks like when it wrecks. Yep, that's how you wreck a race car. But that's all right. Alrighty. I need to figure out how to change cameras without having the UI up. What are my hotkeys?
Hey, Soji, press D. That's how you change cameras.
Oh. Did you say T as in Tom or D as in dog?
The opposite way on cameras. V and Shift V will do razors.
Okay, that's not working, so I'm going to have to go and look. In car, driver view, interface, black box, split time, chat, text chat, camera, and screen replay. There we go. Next camera. Oh, it's Q and W for me. Okay. Q and W. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And then what are the camera angles for drivers? Q and W get me cameras. Okay, that'll work. Oh, I can go over here. That's handy. Alright, so C and V should now get me different cars. Perfect. That Chick Hicks car is a little bit cursed. Oh, wow. Alrighty, so we are already into race number 1. We, of course, have the Silverado pace truck on track. We have the number 69 machine on the outside pole of Greenlee. Looks like they're I may have technically put myself on pole for Heat 1, but of course I'm not racing, so... looks like we have inside row will be Romano, and outside row 2 will be Chris Hood. Get a little bit of a better camera angle here.
Hey, Soji, if you hit Control R, it should update your my paint scheme for you.
Yeah, it's still showing as the old one without your updated one. And I'm checking Trading Paints, it's still going. Not sure exactly what's going on there, but... hit Control R one more time and see... Yeah, that's not updating. Not sure what's going on.
So I wonder who's finishing on the podium tonight, boys.
Let's see if we can get a better camera angle of all of our racers here tonight. Somebody might have already hit the wall. Yes, let's go. Welcome in, Chris. You should really be driving and not typing. Alrighty, looks like the pace car is going to stay out. We're going to have one parade lap. Alrighty, let's get... You should be driving too, Cameron. We got our racers typing in chat tonight. Alrighty. Well, on the upside, it'll be easy to call this race as there aren't going to be a whole lot of different racers to keep track of. It's super easy. We got Hood in the 13, Romano in the 15, and Greenlee in the 69. They go into 3.
Nice.
Yeah, you can tell they're listening. All right, pace truck is in. Racers are off in through 4. And the green flag is out. They're racing at USA International. Romano on the inside, Greenlee with the better entry angle on the outside, but the longer way around. Who's going to get the lead and the momentum coming off of the back? Oh, and he's around on the backstretch. Greenlee with a wreck coming out of 2 on lap 1. No yellow flag so far. Let's see if it stays green.
Well, who?
Poop indeed, Gary. That's a rough way to start a race. Romano retains the lead going out of turn 2 on lap 2. Hood in pursuit. About a 10-car length gap, which is not an easy thing to overcome on a short track. Hood is going to have to keep himself very stable and smooth to make up that gap, capitalizing on mistakes from the 15. I want a different camera angle. I thought this one would switch. There we go. That's a little better. See, going in. Let's see how Cameron is attacking this track. Looks like he's running middle a little bit, trying to stay down away from that apron, or up away from that apron a little bit. More than likely trying to avoid what I did during pre-race, where he's looking to keep it from catching the apron and spinning that car out. Hitting your left front tire onto that apron can induce a slide. And that will send you for a wild ride, as Mr. Greenlee found out. Oh no, we had another spinner. The 15 car of Hood is around, coming out of 4. Looks like no damage. Car should be okay. And now we got a 2-way race for second place. Let's check in with our leader here. Romano out all by himself with no one to challenge. Let's head back to the battle on the track and see who's challenging for second. Greenlee surprisingly doing well on time despite that car damage. Not sure how much that's affecting him here. Let's see if we can get a better look at his tires and see how damaged that number 69 car really is. So no bumper, heavy aerodynamic damage. Wheels seem to be pointed. See if we can get the wheel cameras up here. tires all looking like they're pretty straight. So, especially considering that this car is not super aerodynamically dependent, he might be all right out there. Certainly seems like he's able to hold his own against the undamaged car of Chris Hood. Do we have any drama from the leader? Absolutely none. Cameron Romano putting on a clinic on consistency so far tonight, as he goes down the back into 3. All by himself on a Sunday drive. Whoa! Cut back at a good time. Greenlee with the tank slapper and into the wall. Hood challenges on the low side with the better entry and exit angle. It looks like he's going to get... Oh, but Hood's into the wall too. These two are going blow for blow. This is what short track racing is all about. Beating and banging and roughing them up. Side by side into 3. Greenlee with the advantage on the bottom. But Hood trying to run the momentum off the top side. Cross the line. Greenlee with the advantage. He holds second place for the moment. Hood rings the top side again, trying to keep the momentum. Maybe get the advantage coming out of 2, but he slips the rear tires and loses the drive. Greenlee still holding that bottom side advantage. Hood's going to have to try a different strategy if he wants his way around the 69. Oh, and he goes around! No, Chris Hood goes around! Again, no damage.
We're starting the feature in the same order that we started the heat.
Well, that's not decided yet, Gary, but there is a good chance of that. Uh-oh. Oh, that was the final lap. I thought that was... I did not realize that was only a 10-lap feature. That was a lot of action just for a 10-lap feature. I thought the feature was, or the heat was a little bit longer than that. Looks like we have a 7-minute warm-up session here. Now, considering we only have 3 drivers, will they choose to advance the session? Normally this would not be the case. However, all 3 of them are moderators and may make that decision. Time will tell. What a finish for a 10-lap race. That was action-packed. What a race so far. Let's go out and mingle with the other drivers here a little while we're watching. Let's see where Cameron Romano's doing so well on this track. He's found a line right about here that really seems to work well for him. That Eagle is hooked up on the line. He can drive it in a heck of a lot faster than everybody else can. I don't know if that Eagle's got an aero advantage on him or not, but he really seems to have that number 13 car, or 15 car, excuse me, hooked up. This is where short track racing is so hard. You really have to find a way to capitalize on mistakes like that. Just like that, I can really make a big gain on him simply because he got a little bit too wide coming out of 2. But then I make a simple mistake just like that, and it goes right back to advantage Romano. Uh-oh, and a spinner! Looks like the bottom line is just a touch faster, but it's very, very finicky. You have to be right on the money with it.
Hey, we're going to go ahead and advance the session since we're the only cars on track. Okay, Cicada.
Well, you were advancing the session anyway, and I figured I was finished dunking on you by setting fast lap like 3 laps in a row, so. What's racing if you can't have a little fun, am I right? Alrighty, looks like they are all gridding up here. So let's get the, let me grab the keyboard here so I can have my camera controls back. Pace truck is up. And just as we expected.
All right, USA International Raceway. Welcome to the main event of the evening. Starting on pole is the number 15 of Cameron Romano. Second place, Gary Greenlee. Third place, Chris Hood. They got 50 laps to decide the feature winner. And on that note, drivers, start your engines.
Ken Romano out here doing my job for me. I can sit back and have a drink while I wait. All right, but yes, just as we expected, feature will start.
No drinking on the job.
It's sweet tea. We're all good.
No day drinking.
There's never a bad time for a glass of sweet tea. Yes, they do, Daniel. These cars do have a fairly good amount of power. These cars are carbureted small block V8s, pushing about 375 horsepower, and they are only on an 8-inch tire. So these are Hoosier Comanche radials, 15 by 8s. They are not very grippy. What brand of sweet tea? Golden Peak? No, Milo's sweet tea is the way to go. I'm a big fan of Milo's. They are very, very tasty. And only 3 ingredients, so it's also healthy. I mean, as healthy as sugary tea can be. So.
Race fans, you wanted the best. You got them 3 abreast.
Ah, yes, the signature 3, the short track 3 wide pace lap. Pace truck is going to stay out for one more lap as they do their parade lap. 2 Panther C1s and an Eagle T3. Only the Casino is missing. Of course, I would be running that myself, but it should be a really good show tonight. Despite only having 3 cars, these cars still put on a great show. And hopefully if these boys can keep it clean and keep these cars next to each other, we should be in for some very good close proximity racing. These cars do have a large enough fuel cell. They will not be stopping for fuel. However, depending on tire degradation, we may see tire wear come into effect here. Now, I don't know if they have any extra sets of tires. Short tracks usually do not change them. However, as they come around turn 4 to the green is out, and we are racing here at USA International Speedway. The 15 gets a shot from the number 13 of Chris Hood as they go down the front stretch. Greenlee on the outside, Romano on the inside, challenging for the lead. Greenlee falls out of the groove and back to third. Romano out to a commanding lead again on lap 1. Going down into 3, it's Greenlee. He's going around. Can he save it? He comes to pit road. Good save, but it's going to cost him. Hood and Romano battling for the lead. Greenlee going to have to do a drive-through due to entry. We'll watch the battle for first play out here as I go over the cars a little bit again for you, Daniel. As I said, 375 horse, small block V8s, old school push rods. They are carbureted. 4-speed manual transmissions, just like you'd find in an old school muscle car. Like I said, live rear axles. So these cars have a solid rear axle. No independent rear suspension.
So be sure to play the womp womp sound for me going down pit road.
Hey, that was a pretty good save. You know what? You may have cost yourself a drive-through penalty with that, but at least you didn't wreck the car up. Yes, these are very much entry-level driver's cars. That's what makes the short track league so good, is that the C1, Panther C1 that Hood and Greenlee are driving, the 70s Camaro-looking one, is actually one of the first cars ever added to iRacing. And the Street Stock Series in and of itself has been one of the most consistent on the iRacing schedule for its entire life of the game. They're very easy cars to learn how to drive, but very difficult to master. Due to their low grip and their relatively high power for what they are, it's a great beginner's car because you can drive it to the limit of grip and actually go beyond it slightly and still be able to save the car and catch it before it leaves you high and dry. Ooh, and the racing is picking up here. Look at Chris Hood incrementally pulling in Romano in the 15. Slow and steady is the way in the street stocks when you're not door to door. And Hood is slowly gaining on him about a tenth or so a lap. You can see that 10-car gap is whittled down to about 1 or 2. This is getting close between the 13 and the 15 of the lead cars. Where is Greenlee? He is back on track. Looks like he got his drive through. How far back is he in terms of laps? Results. He has maintained a lead lap position at the moment. He's only about 10.9 seconds back off the leaders. So if we get a caution, he could be back into this thing here. So he is not terribly far. Oh! What's happening here? Because all of a sudden I'm showing... Oh, Chris Hood must have had an issue. Oh no, Gary's going around again. Saved it with minimal damage. It looks like Hood must have had an issue while we were checking on Gary, as he is now only a second ahead of Greenlee. What the heck happened? We'll have to go back and check that a little later and see what happened. In the meantime, though, Romano out to yet another Sunday drive. Well, Gary might be hurt this time. A little bit of a wiggle there on exit. He's really trying to drive that car in hard, and I think that might actually be hurting him a little bit, because these cars are tricky to drive when you're on the edge of grip. They can turn evil in a second. It's like about a half a track gap back from Gary to Cameron. Middle of the front stretch, middle of the back stretch. So yes, he's about a half a track behind at the moment. Going into 3, rolls wide. Looks like he's trying to keep it easy on those tires. Hood, on the other hand, full attack mode right down to the yellow line, trying to make up the time he lost. And then, of course, Cameron right out onto the racing line, just ringing that bottom side like it's his job. Super smooth and consistent. You can watch the 15 car. It doesn't bobble. You don't see a whole lot of tail wag. It's just smooth and consistent. That's what's keeping him that lead right now. Nice and steady. These cars put a premium on smooth driving and consistency. If you try to drive it in too hard, you can get yourself into a heap of trouble in a big hurry. Check back in. Keep an eye on all of the cars on track here, as they are very spread out at the moment. Hopefully we'll get some cars near each other eventually again. Unfortunately, being our first race, it looks like we're going to have a pretty small field tonight, but that's all right. Gives these drivers time to really hone in and try to make the most of their vehicles. Whoa, Hood wide, but doesn't hit the wall. Well done backing that car down to keep it out of the fence. Romano out of 4. Very low drama. And Greenlee coming onto the back stretch. Super smooth around the bottom he goes. The gold wheels look nice on that car. Gary is actually one of the first people who helped me, or who teach me how to paint, and taught me. It's late on a Friday night, folks. I'm a little tired. Yes, Gary's one of the folks who taught me how to paint in iRacing. That's where I learned my spec maps from, and his looking very nice tonight with the flat black and chrome gold. As the 69 continues to make laps around at the back of the field, let's check back in on the leader. Chris Hood's still on track. Looks like no issues to report since that last little bit of an issue. And Romano still out on a steady, smooth run to the lead. Let's see where they're at. All drivers still on the lead lap. However, Romano catching Greenlee in a big hurry. Now only about 4 seconds off of putting him about a lap down. So it won't be too much longer, and your leader is going to have lap traffic problems. Looks like they are on lap number feature. Looks like Romano's finishing lap 18 this time by. Yep, 23.5. We check out his times here, other than, of course, the first lap where they were getting up to speed. 23.6466555. 24.0 had a little bit of an issue that one lap. 23.743. Oh no, we got a wreck on the front stretch. What's happening? I just heard noise. Greenlee into the inside wall and into the grass. Romano puts him a lap down. High up on the outside. What is happening with Gary? Oh, looks like he's broken that left front wheel. That doesn't look like it's working anymore. That could be big problems for Greenlee. Yeah, you can hear that old thing really... Oh, yeah. Left front completely knocked off of the 69 cars. He brings it down to pit road to get that thing patched up. Big sideways for the 69 car. You can see it's driving pretty bad and it's limping. That whole left front corner stoved in. Let's see what happened. Let's go back and check out Gary's lap there. What happened to him? Looks like he drove it into 4. Let's get the chase cam up here so we can see what happened to him. Drove it off. He got into the throttle too early coming off of 4. And, oh, he tried to save it, but it wasn't enough. Ouch. He has taken his fast repair. He's got the car fixed up again. I do believe that will put him 2 or 3 laps down at this point. Yep, 2 laps down now for Gary Greenlee. Oh boy, that thing is still, did he get it all the way fixed? Ah, he's just off pace. He was trying to stay out of Chris's way. Okay. I saw him out of the groove there. I was wondering what happened. Let's check in on the leaders. Chris Hood's still on track, doing all right. Looks like no damage to that car. And no damage to the 15 of Romano as well. As he continues to make laps in the lead. Smooth and steady. That Eagle street stock he's driving is actually based on the same Thunderbird that set one of the fastest NASCAR records ever. Actually, I believe it is the fastest record ever, with Bill Elliott's Ford Thunderbird setting the top speed all time in NASCAR for qualifying at 212 point something miles an hour. It's been a while. I don't remember the exact number. I know it was 212 point something.
I think it was 212.48 miles per hour.
Ah, I knew somebody else would know. Thank you, Cameron. Appreciate that. Can you tell they're listening to the stream as well? Yes. Romano is out front driving that Thunderbird. Looks like that thing's hooked up very well. Oh, we got Chris Hood off the pace. Any damage to the car? I need to get a different view on that car. Looks like it's okay. Not sure exactly what happened there, but whatever it was, he got it gathered up. My guess is he probably got a little bit loose coming out of 4 or going into 3, and probably had to get that car gathered up to save it. Looks like Greenlee's had another incident. The back left of that car stoved up a little bit. Ah, yes, the infamous chasing the whole field after being many laps down, somehow pulling a W Thunderbird. That is true. He did do that from like 4 or 5 laps, or what was it? I believe he was 5 or 6 miles behind the leaders and still managed to catch up. Ah, the days before drafting and restrictor plates. It was a very different world back then. Let's see where Gary's running here compared to the others. There's Gary's line out of the corner. Oh, whoops. I wanted to keep that line. There you can see those different entries into the corners. This is kind of a different angle we haven't seen yet tonight. See Cameron's line up out of the corner there. Whoa, and Chris Hood's. Very, very different look from each driver there. Just think that Cameron stays a little bit lower on the track than everybody else in the straightaways. Whoa, and Hood way up on the high side. Oh, there we go. All right. Excuse me. Cameron's still out in the lead. Looks like Hood is now officially 1 lap down. Gary's still 2. Let's check out Cameron's cornering speeds. 83 miles an hour bottoming out in the bottom of the corner. That's pretty good. Compare that with Gary. All the way down to 78 miles an hour. And onto the apron a little bit. Woohoo! That one gets a little sketch when you get down there. You don't want to be on that apron. The car will get very, very uncomfortable. Those things you do not want it to do underneath of you. It's like Hood managed to keep it in the 80s. Whatever line Cameron has, it's letting him maintain a much higher speed than the other two during the corners. Wow, look at him rip the bottom like that. He's got grip on that car for days. Very impressive. Whoa, Greenlee way up the track, making sure the lap traffic does not affect the leader. Lap are we on now? I missed it. Used to tell you the lap counter on the old UI. It doesn't have that anymore. It's like we're 33 laps into this 50 lap feature. It's going to take a mistake from Romano here to mix this one up a little bit, it looks like. But so far I have not seen anything like that. Very smooth and consistent. Although with the rate they're going, we could very well see Chris Hood catch Gary Greenlee and have a little bit more side-by-side racing. Hood right down onto the yellow line. Whoa! You see the back wiggle a little bit as he comes out of 2. That's where these cars get sketchy. Because, man, do they going to get sideways on you coming out of the corners. As the weight transfer comes off of the banking and goes back onto the flat straightaway, the suspension shifts and the car really wants to hook that right rear up and drive you off left. It's great for cornering, but it's bad when you're on a flat stretch of ground because it wants to spin you. Here we go, side by side. Hood to the bottom, Greenlee to the top. No drama, Greenlee just gives up the position. Romano still out on his Sunday drive out front. Nobody in his way. And not a scratch on that 15 car. He's not even getting close to the walls right now. Uh-oh. What's happened to Gary? He's off pace again. Let's go back and take a look. Oh, he looped it coming out of 2 again. Ooh. That car push understeered in a big way. Good job from Gary to keep it off the fence. Not a whole lot of damage to that W machine. That could have been a heck of a lot worse. Looks like he's got that car. Did he take it to the pits or did he just get it going again? I thought he might have been bringing it to pits, but no, he just got her going again. Looks like the damage was not significant enough to take it down pit road. Hood coming out of 4, Romano going into 1. Very quiet race. No cars getting together tonight. Just good old-fashioned one-car spins this evening. Oh no! Caution's out. Caution is out. Romano finally goes for a spin in 1. That will stack the field up. Yellow flag is finally flown here in the CSC Racing League. 41 laps on the books. Caution laps do not count tonight. So this will not be a place for a lucky dog or somebody to get back onto the lead lap. However, it would not surprise me to see all these drivers come down for a fresh set of Hoosier radials. Do we have fresh tires available to them this evening? Tire sets, yes, we do have 2 tire sets available. So watch, and we do have one fast repair as well. I don't think Romano got into the fence there, but would not surprise me to see him come down for 4 fresh tires. Let's see what kind of yellow flag strategies we'll have under this caution. As I said, caution laps do not count. The last time Romano crossed the line, it was lap 41. It will still be lap 41 when they go back to green as Romano comes down pit road. The 15 Thunderbird rolls down pit road towards the box. The other two drivers decide to stay out. They will not come to pit road this time by. Fire spits from the flames as he pulls the gears. Where is he going? There we go. 15 car into the box. Yep, and there goes the tires. Caution lights are on the safety vehicles on the infield. Right side's on. Left side's up being changed. Here comes the pace car out of 4. The two Panthers stay on track and the Eagle comes down pit road. Romano already off and racing back to catch the pace truck. Exit of pit road as pace truck is in the middle of 1 and 2. So interesting to see that the 2 lap down cars do not come for tires since they can't get their laps back right now. Unless they've already, I know Greenlee probably burned 1 set when he came down for his fast repair. Unless he didn't and I missed it. Either way, Romano rushing to catch up to the field. Here he's almost caught the pace truck. And the field is stacked back up once again. Laps results. So it looks like we have Cameron Romano still leading the race. Chris Hood only 1 lap down. And Gary Greenlee 3 laps down after his damage repair. Lights are out on the pace truck. That should mean he's coming in this time by. Will Chris Hood be able to get his lap back? Can Gary Greenlee keep the wheels on that slightly dinged up W machine with no more fast repairs in his back pocket? Will they get tied up with each other on this restart? Green flag is out. They're back off of 4. Down the front stretch they go. Let's get a better angle here. Hood ahead of Romano, but still a lap down. Does him staying out get him back ahead of that puts Chris Hood back on the lead lap if he can stay out ahead of Cameron Romano. Whoa, and a wiggle from Romano on the exit. Those new tires must not be getting warm yet because he is still out there. That could have been close. See if I can get a better angle here. Go in car with Cameron Romano. Very smooth on throttle all the way through the corner. That's where he's making a lot of time. This should be a cool camera shot here from the outside. There we go. Coming down the front stretch. Should be the closing laps. Can Chris Hood catch a caution and get to catch up to Cameron Romano before the 50 laps are up? Lap. This time by it'll be lap 47 for Romano. 3 to go here at USA International. Whoa! Chris Hood scraping the paint off of that thing on entry going into 3. Right on the edge of that wall. Romano not blinking though. Something's going to happen somewhere to give Chris Hood a chance. He has the advantage at the moment, but he's a full lap behind, and he's going to need more time than that to catch up. Oh, and a mistake from Hood. He gets to the apron. Romano to his back bumper to put him a lap down again. Romano on the low side, Hood on the high side. Hood enters high and exits low, blocks Romano's momentum and holds the lead. Or at least his position from being a lap down. I wish this was a battle for the lead, because this is great racing. Across the line, that should have been lap 50. It is. That's the end of the race. Hood does still have to finish, but the win goes to Cameron Romano in the number 15 Eagle Street Stock. Chris Hood second, Gary Greenlee in third. Come on, Gary, let the man have his donuts. Light them bad boys up, Cameron. Oh, no! You just trying to make sure that thing passes tech, Cameron? All right, 15 car, you got a copy for an interview. I know you can.
Hold on, Sergey, I got to switch.
I think he may be jumping into the Discord.
All right, go for it.
All right, you've won the inaugural race for the Short Track League in a dominating fashion, wire-to-wire lead. What was the key to being so consistent tonight? Only saw one mistake from you, and it was very minor. You managed to keep no damage on that car all night.
Yeah, no, we had a really fast street stock here, man. I tell you what, we were practicing all week, and I'll tell you what, man, got to do my boys at W Energy proud. Also got to thank Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse for sponsoring the car. They got some really cool merchandise. Check them out at burntrubberracingwarehouse.com. Also got to thank, got to give a shout out to my boys in Demon Hunter. They dropped a new album called There Was a Light Here a couple days ago. It is an absolute banger of an album. Other than that, yeah, it was a good race. Yeah, we had a little bit of a mishap there later on, but I think that oh gosh, let me tell you something. This is my first win at a track that's not a super speedway in a car that's not the next gen. So, good job all around. Looking forward to keeping up this momentum into next week, and you know what? This is gonna be a good season, man. I tell you what, dang old street stock racing, good old dang old tell you what, man, dang old short track racing, man. Tell you what, it's gonna be fun.
Well done, my friend. Great racing and great every NASCAR driver interview and Boomhauer impersonation. Well done, my friend.
I tell you what, man. Thank you very much, man. Thank you for broadcasting, man. Tell you what. Hope we put on a dang old good show for you, man. Tell you what.
Sure did. That was a great race to watch, and hopefully we get some more drivers next time. I think this could be even more fun with more people. So excited to see what the future holds. Something came up, couldn't race, was planning on racing tonight. Well, totally understand. Life stuff happens, but definitely hope to see you out here next week. Definitely be more fun to have some more people involved, and I think the more cars we get, the better racing it's going to be. So, yeah, hopefully you are able to make it next week. We'd love to have you. The more the merrier. Racing's always more fun when you got more competitors. So, hopefully whatever you had come up wasn't too serious, and you're able to get a. Please race next week. I won't be able to. Yeah, we will be down one more, so we would like to have more than a 2-car feature. That would be great. But see you tomorrow. Awesome. Yes, we will be on. Yeah, thank you for the reminder as well. If you are watching tonight, we will be having the CSC Cup League right here tomorrow, same time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, or just Eastern Time. It's technically not daylight savings. It's 8:30 Eastern. Look it up. You can find it pretty easy. Romano does his Polish victory lap here as the late, great Alan Kulwicki would have done, and current NASCAR champion racer Ryan Blaney also does this maneuver. But yes, if you're interested in racing, please check out our Discord's CSC Racing League. You can send any of us an invite. You can send any of us a message to get an invite, I should say. Cameron Romano, Gary Greenlee, Chris Hood, or myself, Soji Sakata. We can get you into the league. There's the Discord link in the chat. Thank you very much, Gary. I forgot you had a command set up for that. But yes, we would love to have you. If you want to race, please hop in the Discord. And like I said, we will be running tomorrow night, 8:45 stream start time. The lobby opens at 8:30 for practice. But if you're watching, we will be live at 8:45 for race coverage right here on the CSC Racing League channel. It will be the ARCA cars, the Chevy SS, the Ford Mustang, and the Toyota Camry at the Rockingham Speedway, North Carolina. Should be a good race. Excited to see what kind of racing quality we get. Rockingham, of course, a very rough surface. Very, very easy to spin the car out, so potential for a lot of big wrecks tomorrow night for sure. But with that, that's going to be the end of our stream here this evening. My name is Soji Sakata. Thank you all for watching, and we hope to see you again here tomorrow night. Have a great evening. Good night, everybody.